This is Mongolian Mindset, and today me and Christian are going to be dropping NI Hero versus NI Parent. We know that you guys struggle understanding the key differences between these two. The way we're going to go in depth about this, nobody does what we do. No one is as knowledgeable as we are. You could put us against anybody in a tight spin. I promise you, they're not matching up with us 1-on-1, 2-on-2. It doesn't fucking matter. We give you this information, so even if you're blind, deaf, and dumb, you can walk away saying you know the difference between NI Hero and NI Parent, right? And this is something I had to work on because when it comes to typing fictional characters, it's very important to see the key differences so that you can figure out, all right, is this person an INTJ? Is this person an INFJ? Is this person an ENTJ? Is this person an ENFJ? You get in there, and between this breakdown, you're gonna be able to see that the way that we're gonna lay this out. No one is gonna be crystal clear, okay?
When you come to Mongolian Mindset channel, we're gonna make it as simple and understandable as possible. Just remember, we might be emulated, but we cannot be duplicated. Okay, you get it just right here. This is the only channel on YouTube where you're gonna get this stuff. We're coming with the stories. We're coming with fictional characters. We're coming with multiple examples, so you guys can get the full picture and take it into your regular lives. Okay, so let's get into the video.
It's MBTI hero versus the parent functions. As you guys know, there's a lot of people making mistakes with understanding the difference between the hero and the parent. So I said, fuck it, because everybody's so fucking stupid. I got to fucking make a PowerPoint, and me and Christian got to break this shit down.
So, as we mentioned in the last video, hero and the parent is our focus for these video series, right? So the hero is the dominant function. A lot of times we call it the Goku. Is the hero for a reason, right? It's a driving force of the personality. It's when you're young, you tend to use it more. It's the most conscious function because it's highest in the ego stack, and it's at the core of what we do and how we approach life. Okay. Now, to differentiate, the parent is an auxiliary function. It's a helper, or it also tempers the hero. It complements the hero. It provides balance. And it also makes the hero a little slower to act, more methodical, but more refined, right, over time. Okay, just so you understand.
So, like what Christian's saying there, it's like you gotta understand that the hero function is the Goku. So, like when you're trying to type somebody, like let's say if you're like not using interaction styles, you're trying to figure out what is their hero function, right? And it should be out like Goku. Like this person should show you like this is what life means to them, right? This is the power up. This is what they're going Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 at, right? The stories about them. And then there's a parent function, that assists Goku in getting his journey to what he wants to be, right? So like you should look around. Like sometimes those introverted functions, they can hide a little bit so that people don't really get them as well. Because like we said in the previous video, if someone's an introvert, they have an extroverted parent, right? And the extroverted parent is how they're going to mostly interact with the world. If they're super introverted, they're going to be looping between the hero and the child function, which is going to cause them to be more introverted, right? As the same for extroverts, right? Extroverts can really go through their whole lives, right, by extroverting between the hero and the child, right? And not actually working on reflective qualities of their life, right? With the introverted functions, which is going to be their parent function and their and their inferior function, right? So you can see that play out, and you can wonder, like, okay, why is this ENTJ so fucking stupid, right? Because he doesn't really have those reflective qualities because he can just loop between TE and SE, right? And barely need to use his NI or FI, building on the environment that this person's been in. Right, so it's important to see that, and like we said, like when you're looking at fictional characters, you want to look at that driving force. What is the essence of that person, right? Because the hero is the essence. Like you can't beat away Ti hero from Christian. I want to beat it out across his head. I want to beat it out of him. But the boy, I remember when we were kids, I was telling him like Ti hero, like they fucking hate lying. I'll never forget this shit. Like they fucking hate lying. And I was like, Christian, tell a fucking lie. He's like, nah, bro. No, bro. I'm not telling a lie. I'm like, what the fuck, you fucking Ti hero, bitch. But you guys get my point here. It's like people who have the hero function, you can't miss it. Like it is their driving force. It's who they are. They incorporate this in every aspect of their life to a point they're kind of blind at just how much this dictates their life. And then they have their sister, the bitch. I call it the bitch. Like, go get me the coffee, go get me whatever. Yeah. Anything you want to say, Christian?
No, I think you got it. One thing I will say though, bring the mic a little closer to your face.
All right. All
All
right. We're
right,
gonna skip over this.
keep on.
So, guys, today we're gonna be going over anti-hero and anti-parent. I'm gonna go over it. Christian's gonna be dropping in some anime characters, some understanding so that you guys can get it, and we're gonna be talking about it, right? There's a clear difference when I'm looking at anti-hero versus anti-parent, right? The attitude is reflective, deeply focused on understanding future possibilities and patterns over time. Anti-hero is driven by certainty about their vision and internal insights into the future outcomes. But these insights take time to manifest. They spend time reflecting on how things are unfolded in order to become more certain. So when I look at anti-hero, what I'm looking at is somebody who's compelled by vision first. Like the vision seems to be like, they say the egg or the chicken, right? Um, that hero, anti-hero, the vision or where they want to go, what they're seeing, is number one. And I know that there's different types of NI. Where you have the more active oriented of NI, and then you have the more like synthesizing version of NI. But overall, it's like they put this first, right? That's the number one thing here. So NI hero strength is their certainty and clear focus. Once they have a solid understanding, their insight is profound, and they typically develop a strong inner conviction about their direction they're going. This makes them powerful in long-term planning, but they might take time to reach the clarity they need. So what I'm taking here and what I'm looking at here, I know you guys looking for example. I would say Palpatine, right? Palpatine is looking at this thing from a long-term perspective, 20 years, grooming Anakin to be his Sith Lord, right? He's grooming, like, and nothing separates from the vision as I have foreseen, like everything is going as I have foreseen. Like you hearing that so much. All right, this motherfucker's anti-hero. This motherfucker is talking too much about I have foreseen this. I have foreseen this. If you don't get that anti-fucking hero the fuck out of here,
Mm-hmm.
so how it manifests, anti-hero typically waits for clarity, reflecting, and processing their internal understanding of future outcomes. They often don't rush decisions, but once they have a firm sense of the right direction, they're decisive and will stick to the vision. So this is a key proponent in this. It's like anti-hero can get very illogical when it comes to their vision because the vision is first, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not secondary like the parent. The vision is first, so they could get very illogical about like that vision, right? The vision cannot be like, bro, that shit's not gonna happen. I don't give a fuck what you do; it's not gonna happen. You can tell them that, but they're gonna be stuck on that vision. Like they cannot operate without that vision. Like for them, the vision is life.
Yeah. And an example of this, if you've ever seen Berserk, there's a character called Griffith. I think Griffith is NI hero, and he has a grand vision of what he wants to achieve in his life, right? And it gets to a point where the vision was kind of illogical in a way because he had lost so much. Like he didn't have the power to really fulfill his vision anymore. And when he was given the opportunity to kind of regain his vision or maybe achieve it by sacrificing all his comrades, he chose to take that route. He was just so decisively stuck on that vision that he was willing to sacrifice anything to achieve it. And in my opinion, Griffith is NI hero, and that would be an example of that. It's basically, that vision is everything. That vision is life for them. Without that, they don't even want to be alive. You know what I mean? And in the example of Griffith, he took an evil route because of that, because he was so focused on that
Like
vision.
Minecraft.
He was willing to basically kill his closest comrades, which is kind of crazy, but but basically, that's how NI hero can be, at the most extremes.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at like Light Yagami, right, from Death Note. He's willing to sacrifice everybody to create his grand vision of like punishing of like punishing criminals or whatnot, and ushering in a new world, right? That vision, and once the worst thing you could ever see with an NI hero is the closer they get to their vision. Holy shit, the worse they're gonna get. They get batshit deranged the closer they get. Like if they're very far off 10, 15 years, it's okay. But if that the closer they get to that motherfucker, the more lunatic they can get, right? Um, and especially if you give them an opportunity to enact their vision, right? You can see them like just pretty much like just losing their mind.
Yeah, you want to talk about Putin a little bit?
Putin,
Yeah.
like when we talk about Putin, you can see like when he makes a decision about something, he's moving forward on that, right? Um, and he isn't moving off that. Like it is what it is. Like it's hard to get the motherfucker to move off of it. While like if you see somebody like Donald J. Trump, right? He's anti-parent. He's more what I would say situational with NI, right? Like so, like let's say his grand vision, for like because he's in the system, right? ENTJs need to get involved into a system, and then they'll get the NI insights. So now he's in the system of being the president, right? And he's looking at these external systems, and now he's getting his insights and like, or like in general, like being involved in the external system will help them get their NI insights. And he's about going about the tariffs, right? But every time you turn around, he's changing the tariffs, right? He's changing them, you know. It's not like set in stone like with NI hero. Like NI hero would set those tariffs, and that would be it.
I guess
While he's
you
like
could say anti-parent is more tactical
tactical with it,
compared to anti-hero. You know what I mean?
uncompromisable.
Yeah, which is more uncompromising and more strategic in a way, more long term. Or anti-parent's more willing to change direction. You know,
Yeah.
is less rigid.
Less rigid on the vision.
Yeah.
So you'll see like with Trump, like you know he puts out the tariffs and then he waits to like see the reactions, and then once he sees the reactions, then he changes like what his plan is, right? While like when an hero would do it, it'd be like this is set in stone. I knew this is going as if I have foreseen. I'm not changing anything, right? They're just gonna suffer for the short term, but in the long term they'll benefit. While Trump is kind of like, okay, I see what's going on in real time, and then we could pivot the vision here and there.
Yeah. Now,
So it's
anti-parent is also faster to act. So in a way, it's quicker. They apply basically what they're thinking, their ideas, their intuition. They can apply it quicker than anti-hero can because they're less rigid. So it's more flexible, more adaptable. It also can process information quicker and more decisively. Okay, but the problem is they can quickly jump to a conclusion about what might happen next, and they'll try to apply in a practical way. But because it's faster, I think they might be more likely to make a mistake compared to anti-hero in a way, because tactics, they're in the moment, and NI as a whole probably more of a long-term approach to things. So that's why you see Donald Trump commit blunders more often, because he's more tactical with his NI compared to NI hero.
It's it's like what we're saying. Like when you think about Palpatine, he's taking 20 plus years to get his overall plan right. He's in no rush, and that's to be the biggest problem with a lot of NI heroes. They're in no rush to get the actual plan out. As they have like unlimited time. While like NI parent is a lot quicker. Like they're more like because it's secondary. It's not first. So they can, it's not as important. They want to act and judge a little bit first before they use NI. They got to get, like I said, they got to get involved. Like whether it's an ENFJ or ENTJ, ENTJ needs to get involved in external systems to get the NI insights, and then ENFJs need to get involved with groups of people to get the NI insights, right? While like NI hero, they've already had the vision before they came to the people, right? So like with NI hero, they're either using systems to get the vision or they're using people to get the vision. Which one you want to see here. But there's a noticeable difference in these, right? It's like anti-parent can discard their future. And anti-hero cannot. That's their oxygen.
Right.
So like we said there. Just go over quick. Anti-hero might seem more reserved and reflective compared to anti-parent, especially in the early stages of insights gathering. They don't act until they feel they have fully refined their vision and are absolutely certain of it. Like that, like we said, like they're absolutely certain of it. While anti-parent, like the attitude is quick thinking, immediate, and action-oriented with respects to insights. Anti-parent strength is in being able to apply the intuition quickly to assess situations, like Christian said. They're going to adapt to what's coming. While they have insights into the future, they are less concerned with waiting or complete clarity, and tend to act with the first level of understanding. So that's a lot of problems that what Christian's talking about with Donald Trump, that they're going to be ready to more reactive with their NI. Get out there, get moving, and because they could kind of like flip it between the NISC child. right? The SC child is gonna let them be more adaptable,
Yeah.
right? While like an NI hero, like they can't be as adaptable because NI is fully present all the time, while SC doesn't barely get any glory. But between NI parent and SC child, it's a little bit more interchangeable, right?
Now, keep in mind,
So you'll see them.
anti-parent to the outside world is gonna seem more confident as well because they are more decisive. So, to the outside world that doesn't know better, they'll just say, "Okay, this person is really confident and decisive," you know. But they are doing less planning than the NI hero alternative, you know. But just because people don't really think about these things, they might just think, "Okay, NI parent knows what to do at all times," but really they're kind of like improvising more, you know. So
Mhm.
they're not as sure about what's going to happen compared to NI hero. You know, they're more methodical. So
Mhm.
in leadership roles, you might see a lot of NI parents. You know what I mean? Because society as a whole is going to reward that decisiveness. You know.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Because like Christian said here, like when you're in a hero, you can kind of get hit because you're not willing to change the vision, right? The vision, sometimes you can't enact the vision, right? And but to these guys, they can't give it up. Like they cannot give it up. Um, even as unrealistic as it is, they cannot give it up. Like that's just their oxygen. Like I would say Kobe Bryant with basketball, right? As a kid, right? Kobe was methodically like systemizing his way to being a basketball great. Like where it comes to like when he was 5, 6, 7 years old, he said, I was planning on not using to like dribbling with both hands because I know other kids couldn't do that, right? And he's setting it up long term. Like I know to be a great basketball player, I need to be able to use both hands. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not looking at right now. I'm looking at long term. Like, I may suck right now, but in the future, when everybody cannot do both and I can, I'm going to win. Right. So he's looking at the long term vision of everything, as opposed to what he wants. Right. So you'll see how they play it out that way. While like a lot of times, NI parent cannot have a vision because they don't realize that they need like other things. Like they need an external system. They need people, like, to get the vision, why like the anti-hero, they come with the vision. The vision is first. Like if you listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's talking about like, he's seen the movies and the blah blah blah, and he already knew that he was coming to America and that he was gonna take the same path as the other guy who did Hercules or whatever fuck. So he already had this vision, and he's just going through the world to try to figure out how to get to his vision.
mhm.
Um, and the vision is kind of uncompromisable, especially once they set their mind to something.
Yeah.
Like Christian said, NI-parent process information quickly, more decisive. They're quick to jump to conclusions. Christian said that how it manifests NI-parent will appear decisive, more, moving ahead with action based on their internal understanding, even less refined. They may seem quick to decide and ready to move forward, trusting their initial intuitive conclusion. Right?
Mhm.
They're not as refined. Like they just, like I said, they got the SC there to kind of like improvise a little bit, and they're gonna be using that. And like we said, like it's an ends to a mean for them. Difference from NI hero and NI parent is more action oriented, quicker to implement the insights, and they trust the intuition less. Second guessing. In contrast, NI hero takes time to refine their understanding and may seem reflective and reserved as they wait for clarity. Right, like we said, it has to be absolute with these guys.
Mhm.
Um,
All right. So
yeah,
I think we covered the differences. We gave some
yeah.
examples.
We
And so
gave some
that's
great examples.
yeah. So that's
There's
the
some great
second
examples.
video in our series covering the parent versus the hero. Make
Yeah.
sure you know the differences because a lot of people get that wrong. Mercer, you got anything to say?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, when it comes to like your fictional characters, this can help a lot. Like, what are they compelled by? Are they compelled by vision, or like is it other way around? Like, and that will help you figure out. Okay, this person, Yuha from Bleach, is INTJ. You're struggling like, oh shit, like he's got an army, he's got all this other shit. Like, what's really going on here? Is he compelled by the vision, or is he like needs to be like orchestrated in systems or people to get his vision? Um, or is the vision first? And if the vision's first, and usually most of the time they're not hero guys.
Hmm.
I've been coming up with this to help me, with fictional characters because you motherfuckers love fictional characters. And like, Mercer, what's this person's type? What's Light's type? What's L's type? What's this person's type? And I'm like, damn, I gotta go through and like figure out like what is their decisive motivating factor in this person's
Yeah.
life.
Now, do keep in mind though, fictional characters can change types because they're not real people. So you know, some writers, they'll change a character or whatever. It won't even be the same character. So you got to be careful with fictional characters. You kind of got to type them in an era. You know what I mean? Like, you know, season 1 through 4 might be one type, and then they change their type willy nilly with the writing. You know what I mean? That's the challenge with fictional characters in series that go on for a long time. But you know, just keep that in mind.
So I will say, like when you're dealing with fictional characters, it's very important to hunt for that most decisive thing about them. Um, and that's going to usually help you find their personality type. Like when it comes to like interaction styles, that's not going to be as helpful and stuff, but you can find out the cognitive functions. That's going to help you. But also just noticing like the difference between the hero and the parents really going to be very important. I could say for somebody like Naruto, like you guys saw that his vision was number one. His vision to be Hokage was number one. Like the guy was thinking about this Hokage dream since he was a kid, right? And then he just enacted on a journey to get his vision and to become Hokage. Like he was believing in his vision before anybody else was, right? So that indicates that this person's NI hero, right? And then you know that fucking Naruto is affiliative, right? He's all about doing the right thing. So you know that this guy is an affiliative NI hero, which is the INFJ, just off conclusion there, like you know. So that's why this shit can really help you. Like when you look at Yuhabak or something, um, his power of Almighty, you know, to be able to like. I love Bleach Universe because the Bleach Universe pretty much tells you their type based off their bankais or like their shikais or whatever. Like they have like some type of like ability or something, and it kind of hints towards their personality type, like I like being able to manipulate people and like change like perspectives and shit like that. And you know he's got the genius intellect. You know he's ENTP. You know like shit like that. So it's great to see that, you know, you guys could just, you know, it's a system that I am improving as I go. It's not perfect, but I think that is my method for typing fictional characters, and I think this is important. So like when you're dealing with a typing session or like a friend or something, like you know, you may not realize that maybe your mom or dad or something is dead, but you can realize like what was this motivating factor? Like what was something they seem to always have done?
Right.
Okay, I got it. Okay. They were very focused on their duty. They were very responsible with like who they were as a person. Oh, SI, you know. Um, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So this was
this
a
is a
good
banger,
video.
guys.
Go ahead and drop a like and comment down below if you learned the differences between the parent and the hero and what you think about it. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out. And remember, we're the fucking goats, man. My boy Christian over there dropping fucking jewels, man.
All right, man. Peace out.
Peace.